All right, we are back. Like my boxes are off. Good afternoon, Benton Harbor. We are back here this week. Chat with the Chief, October 3rd, 2024. Myself, Director McGinnis, Ben Harbor Department of Public Safety, and the one and only incomparable Chief Greg Abrams from Benton Township
Good afternoon, everybody.
Police Department. We got one and a half guests on. So first of all, it's good to be back, guys. We want to apologize for last week, a technical difficulty beyond our control. We couldn't get on Facebook because of our streaming provider. So we're back today. We'll chat with the chief. It's good to be back. So we are going to be talking about a couple things today and some information from our departments. But again, we got myself, Chief Abrams. Let me make it a little bigger here. And we have James Gunner. Bro, you can blink, man. You can blink. There you go. You got the deer in the headlights.
He dialed in. He dialed in.
So, hey, guys, today, Benton Harbor again. Again, thank you for being back with us. Thank you for forgiving us for not being able to be on last week. We got James Gunner, who is a mover and shaker in the community. He founded Present Pillars, which is a phenomenal organization to help increase fatherhood skills in our community, to restoring families and fathers to families, which is a tremendous effort. He always has something going on with his organization, at his office, in the community. So he's also a young man who I definitely love and appreciate. And at some point, us old folks, Chief, are going to be handing the reins over to young folks like this gentleman here.
This is true.
So we have him on here. He's going to briefly talk about an event he has coming up, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, an expungement fair. So we're going to have him talk about that. He agreed to be on with us the last minute because he has another important meeting he needs to prepare for. Then we also have my deputy director, Brian Kazarzik, who is one of my right-hand men, doing a phenomenal job. He's over the fire service and code compliance. He's definitely, they say, Chief Abrams, a smart leader surrounds himself with people smarter than him. Well, I definitely got that. So,
smarter and people that they can trust.
Yeah. So we razz him a lot, man, but I definitely appreciate all that he's done. And he's going to be on. He's going to briefly talk to us about. So next week is Fire Prevention Week, and we have a lot of things lined up we want to talk about. And actually, again, in both Benton Harbor and Benton Township, we're working together. Not just the police, y'all. This is all public safety on both sides of the 49022. So that's what we have today. Chief, any words of wisdom start us out with, or tell us about what's going on with you and over at Benton Township?
Well, first, condolences to the Helen Johnson family. She was the victim of a hit, not a hit and run, but of a very bad accident where she lost her life. That intersection of Milton and East Napier, I've had my second fatality there since I've been chief, and now I'm working hard to not let this ever happen again. I've reached out to the Barron County Road Commission, and we're working together now to try to figure out something we can do with lighting or crossing at that intersection, so no one has to lose their life ever again in that location. Another thing is, there was a lot of rumors about, because it was Ron Singleton, that Benton Township was covering something up. Well, for one, my guys are so young, they don't even know Ron Singleton. Okay, they had no clue who he even was. So when he finally announced who he was, they called me. I did talk to Ron, and we have this. This is what we do our report. So I don't know if you can see this. This is our report template book. And this report template book is actually through the Michigan State Police, and we follow all these guidelines when we have a fatality, whether it be vehicle on pedestrian. And it's things like lighting conditions outside, utility poles, every driver, PBT, sobriety tested, blood search warrants, or if they want to get blood on their own. But we have to go through a template of everything that we have in order to investigate a fatality where there's a vehicle and pedestrian involved. And we even use Berrien County AI accident reconstructionists to make sure that we stay transparent. So those who had rumors about, oh, this happened, that happened, no, everything was 100% by the book. And Mr. Singleton is cooperating 100%. There's nobody trying to hide anything. And that's why we're using the Berrien County accident reconstruction team to make sure that we stay transparent. That's the biggest thing I want to get out.
Okay, and obviously we appreciate that, and also I heard that also we were part of the conspiracy to cover it up, which of course is ridiculous because it's not even our department of jurisdiction. Social media, it has some benefits, obviously, and also there's misinformation that's fed on there. It is what it is. That's the society that we live in. I know, me personally, I don't really pay social media any attention. I don't read comments. There's all type of stuff that's said, especially when you're in leadership. So the thing is, we wouldn't be on here and talking about issues and coming together, trying to be transparent, but then on the other hand, be covering stuff up. That doesn't even logically make sense if you were to just say
No.
that out loud. So appreciate that for your clarification on that. And I do want to get into some more police related things later on. I'll get these guys their due, especially James, who again has a hard deadline. But yeah, we're doing a lot of good things here, man. I got so much information. I'm bouncing back and forth between the things with the Detective Bureau on the road, things that have happened. I just actually got a question about there. We had a semi truck tip over on Main Street. Had cement inside of that, and Cass could probably speak to this briefly. Cement. There was no harsh chemicals, nothing that was harsh to the environment. Um, Again, I wasn't there. I know a little bit of information. Looks like there might have been negligence, not really so much on the driver, but on the company for putting out this rab shab, really horrible condition trailer that literally fell apart. Literally fell apart. So that did happen. I know Louise is reaching out to me about that. So we'll talk about that when we get to Kaz's gets the mic for Fire Prevention Week. But again, let's start out with James Gunter. Again, mover and shaker. I've been through my spiel on you. Pillars and bro, you are always on the move, and you got little ones, so that's even more amazing. So,
Yeah,
brother, how you doing today?
I can't complain. Thanks for having me.
So, you are of the many things that you do. You're doing this expungement hearing.
Mhm.
So, just real briefly, explain to us so we understand, for those who may not know you or your efforts, on why an expungement hearing is so important to your goal of strengthening families and reuniting fathers. I think it's kind of obvious, but I want to hear from you on how important this is.
Yeah, definitely. So, I think everyone's pretty familiar with how having a criminal record affects your ability to get housing, employment, and those things go directly into your ability to care for your family. So, for me, it's really important that we really put let me see, elevate these things because Michigan just had the clean slate or updated their clean slate law to accommodate for additional convictions to be wiped away. Some automatic, and then some you have to go through a process for. So this program that we're doing is at LMC. It's on October 12th. It's from noon to 4. It's really, this one's unique because Safe and Just Michigan, the Department of Attorney General, Legal Aid of Western Michigan, and then we have some funding from Berrien Community Foundation and another private donor who have really made it so that you can get any crime in Michigan expunged, and not just crimes here in Berrien County. And I do want to add a caveat: you can come to the Pillar Center or get to legal aid any day, anytime to do a self-help process, and legal aid can even go to the hearing with you. But what makes this one special is you can get the entire process done that day, and it could be any crime in Michigan.
Okay, so let's back up. Where is the Pillar Center so they know where they can come to, and also what is your number?
Absolutely. So thanks for asking that question. The Pillar Center is at 204 West Main Street in downtown Benton Harbor. Our phone number is 269-363-4000.
Okay. So let me ask you couple questions. So, and let me say this first of all, that and I think Chief Abrams would agree. Yeah, we're the police. Yeah, we're law enforcement. Yes, we do our job and we do paperwork, and ultimately people get convicted for things that they do. However, I'm also a huge proponent of expungements because I can list you 100 people right now that I can name that 10 years ago, 12 years ago, yeah, they were younger, did some things, but now they are upstanding citizens. They're great fathers. They're working. And we've seen for many years that the system actually is difficult to get out of it once you get in it. And, there's this thing, and this is a whole probably show to itself, a conversation to itself of at what point do you stop paying? So, for example, say you have a felony from, say, 10 years ago, you put it on your application, employees, you've been clean, been in church, got family, see it on the application, pass on you simply because you had a felony 10 years ago.
Yep.
If you served your time, if you paid your fine, if you did your community service, at what point do we say, you know what, enough is enough? Now, you're probably not going to hear a lot of law enforcement say that. And I'll let Greg give me his thoughts on that. But our goal is we want order. We don't want lawlessness, but part of order is having families together and people not looking over their shoulder because they got, something that could keep them from moving forward.
Right.
Now, I put that out there. Those are my thoughts on that. I want to hear Chief Abrams and then come back with you, James.
Definitely.
I've met a lot of good men in my past while doing this job who are doing outstanding work. Who's been, looked down on by, other careers because they had a past, a very young past. And it's like you continue to pay the price over and over and over again. Um, and not just through career, man, just through other things that you deal with in life from one mistake that you made 10, 15 years ago. I actually had to pass up on a officer who was out of Indiana. This man had his master's degree, made a mistake when he was like 16 years old in Chicago. He is now 32 years old, and he's still having issues, and he has his master's in criminal justice. Now, Indiana is different than Michigan when it comes to an officer being hired, but this young man still got hired in Indiana because the laws are a little bit different in Indiana. They don't frown upon you as bad in Indiana as they do in Michigan when it comes to certain situations. So yes, it is a debt that it seems like you keep having to pay no matter what you do, and it's just not right.
Absolutely. So James, let me ask you: Are there certain felonies that have been included? I know this law keeps evolving. Are there certain felonies that are now expungible? Are there certain ones that are still not expungible?
So I'm glad you asked that question. I can't really answer it. I'm careful to never give legal advice. I'm not a lawyer. But I can refer people to our Facebook page, the Present Pillars page, and my personal page. We did a live with Attorney Blair Johnson where he covered the rules of expungement. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Y'all people riding past. Um, so Attorney Blair Johnson kind of covered expungement in its totality, the new laws, what's automatic set aside, what's not automatic, and then what things are or are not expungible. So I would encourage people to go and view that video if they have questions about specific charges. But I also want to speak to your point about how we continually punish people for the same thing. And just highlight too that when we punish a dad or a mom for something that they've done a long time ago, we're also punishing their children. And that
That's a good
doesn't.
point.
So I think one of the things that we can do to kind of ease the burden that we experience in our community is to stop punishing and start helping, start supporting, start renewing. the people in our community. So just want to add that in.
That's a good point.
Okay. So that again, it's going to be on. I have the flyer. We'll post it on our Facebook site. We'll push them over to you also for those out there that are interested.
Mhm.
And again, it's now how many of these have do you do a year? Is this your first one? This is one of many.
So this will be our third.
Okay.
We did one last year with Black and Brown Cannabis Guild out of Grand Rapids. Ben Harbor native Denavia Mojay led that project.
Okay.
We did one this year on Juneteenth, and then this will be the third one we've done.
Okay. And how successful has it been? How have your numbers looked as far as this? Are people really embracing this and trying to get the record clean?
I would say we're in the hundreds. This event will put us over 200.
Wow,
Okay.
that's pretty good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay. I know we're in talks about some other things, projects to work together, an amnesty program we want to work together with. Kind of briefly, if you have some low level warrants out there, which is another issue, which is why you brought it to me. You got people who are looking over their shoulder because they got a little warrant hand over their back. Again, if we can get that taken care of, I'd like to see the court not make stuff difficult and maybe do something simple, i.e., we say, okay, if you have, say you got this, just as an example, disturbing the peace ticket, instead of going there, being arraigned, instead of coming back, being sentenced, instead of just one time, go up, show up, here, judge, I'm here, give a fine, maybe $100, and be done with it. No coming back, no sentence, just be done with it. If you got some type of traffic ticket that is hindering you from getting your license, just be done with it. So that takes a little bit more moving parts, getting with the court to see if they can streamline and make that process easy. But we really would like to see people not having to look over their shoulders. So I think we maybe lost James. I think he's about to check out because he has a meeting coming up. So I think he's good to go there. And we will be supporting the expungement hearing. Again, we'll put our flyer up on Facebook. So you can see the information on it. So now we'll move on. Deputy Director Brian Kazmazak, who, before we get into next week, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. You are, what, 30, 35 years in fire service. You literally wrote the book on training, like literally, guys, wrote the book
Uh,
on training. So,
yeah, so thanks, Chief. I've been in the fire service 33 years. I started when I was 14 years old down in South Bend, Indiana. Um, did about 25 years, 24 years full time down in that area. And I've been up here almost five. As you said, I am a published author. I have a couple fire service textbooks out. One actually all that revolve around firefighter training. And run a website for the fire department called Firefighter Close Calls. We're the second most popular fire website in the country. We get about 1 million hits a month, and we do it 100% for free. It's dedicated to firefighter safety. So that's pretty much about me. I mean, my entire career has been firefighter safety and training.
so Quentin, if you've been a blessing to us, obviously, and you are a Benton Harbor City resident.
I am. I live right
So, yeah, yep, you moved up here, so you definitely are invested again. I mean, I can trust a man who's smarter than me on some days. On some days, he is. Again, you've taken our fire service and transformed it into the juggernaut that it is in the state of Michigan. It's just been amazing to see us journey from public safety back in 2009 to Can Never Be Done to now we are the leading standard, not just in our area, but in the state. It's just utterly amazing. And, a lot of that came, I had a dream, shared it with you, and you took it around with it. So that's awesome. Talk about that very briefly, and then we'll get into next week for Fire Safety Week.
Yeah, so and I'm glad you brought up the academy because that is by far the pillar of what Benton Harbor Fire, this fire side of the public safety division, has stood for the last 4 years is training firefighters. In 4 years, we have trained 659 firefighters. from with outside the city of Benton Harbor. Those are firefighters that came to Benton Harbor for training. We're on our 8th fire academy. We'll have trained 94 firefighters from 3 different counties in our fire academy, 57 instructors, about 50 fire officers, 30 pump operators, 65 drivers. And we have just been able to do amazing stuff, and it's because of your support and what you've allowed us to do. But we've become the training hub of Berrien County with zero support from the state funds that go to Berrien County. The county has kind of shut us out of those funds, and we've still managed to do this.
Yeah, it has been amazing, and we've always had a good public education. So, Chief Abrams, you may not know this, but we actually our first step in Benton Harbor and Benton Township coming together was actually the fire departments, us having mutual aid agreements, auto aid agreements, working together. Sometimes we hold our fire academy classes at Benton Township facilities. So Benton Harbor 49022, when we say we have come together, we've come together for both police and fire. And we believe, now, Chief, I'll let you speak to this, that makes us a whole nother level of being able to be safe for our community when you got both the police departments working together and the fire departments working together in the 49022.
It sounds like the fire department was a little smarter than the police department in the beginning here, because this all could have been done all at once. Police and fire at once, joining together, like the Marvels, and fighting crime and fires at the same time. So it's kind of crazy that it took us this long, this many years to say, yeah, these jurisdictional lines are not working for us. We need to combine resources to better serve our communities. And by us doing that, and then by you having chat with the chief, which is a wonderful program that you wrangled me into, but I'm glad you did. And I'm appreciating more and more, because I like to be able to get things out there, to my community. And you have a passion, Dan, for your community, and I can see and I hear it in your voice all the time that, you like me, you want compliance. You want everybody to live peaceful, get along. You want people to get expungements done, to get have better resources for living their lives. I hear it in you all the time, brother. And then listen to Mr. Casimir. I didn't know you was that big, man. Can I get your autograph when I get done here?
I'm nobody.
Well, no, I've been hearing, I've heard through this community, Benton Harbor, Benton Township, St. Joe, that Benton Harbor has probably one of the best fire departments in Berrien County, probably in the state of Michigan, honestly. But these are the things that rings true to me that I hear all the time. So you and Chief McGinnis are doing a great job, and I just appreciate everything you guys putting into this, and and Dan bringing me aboard on on a few things that I needed to be brought on board with, because I'm a new chief. I'm only going on 2 years, even though I've been in law enforcement for over 30. This is a new seat for me. So there's things I got to learn, and that young man over there, Mr. McGinnis, has been taking me through some changes to get me prepared for what's to come.
Okay, so Benton Harbor, I'm still having a problem of actually being able to put the comments from chat on the screen. This is Chat with the Chief, so we want to hear your chats. We got one, Pat Morris. I got 2 questions. We also got Dennis Holbrook. He says, "Do you have to be a certain person?" I reached out, no response. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Reached out to who, when, and regarding what. So try it again, 927-8425. Pat Moore, first question was, how long will we have to look at the burned down pile of rubble on Bus Avenue?
Oh,
and then
my God.
also, and when will the city be putting water in the fire hydrants? I don't know, Kaz, you might want to tackle that. So we are actually working right now on burnouts as well as fire hydrant upkeep and maintenance. So if you could speak to those, again, this is Pat Moore. How long will we have to look at the burned down pile of rubble on Bus Avenue? She's absolutely correct. And then when will we put water in the fire hydrant? We have water in the fire hydrants, and right now we're maintaining them or doing maintenance to make sure that they are where they need to be.
Yep.
Go ahead, Cass.
So as far as the pile of rubble, we have been in touch with them or pretty much every day. We've talked to the owner. He is in the process of working on getting a construction company. There's some permits that go along with that. There's some things that through the state of Michigan, as far as asbestos and things like that, that have to be handled. Unfortunately, it's not a quick process. If I had it my way, it would have been down the morning of the fire. But we are working on it. He has assured us he is taking care of it. He has a contractor lined up, just trying to get all the things in order to make it happen. So that is definitely being handled, and we're the owner is being very cooperative, which is, we don't usually have that type of cooperation on every one of these burnouts. So it's very nice that they have been that cooperative. As far as the fire hydrants, we test our fire hydrants. Matter of fact, you'll see the firefighters out flow testing today. They're out. They've been out pretty much every day in the months of September and October so far, testing fire hydrants, flow testing them. We have maps in our trucks that show what flows, what doesn't. Are there an out of service fire hydrant here and there? Absolutely. And those are all, there's repairs in process for those. So there's a system in process. We know where everything is in the city as far as what it flows, and what the issues are. So the water is there. There's not fire hydrant. Well, I mean, there's a couple that don't, but for the majority, there's water in the fire hydrants.
So Kaz, again, Pat Moore, thank you, because these are the type of comments and questions we want. She's legitimately asking great questions. She just posted a question. Again, I'm sorry I can't put it on my screen. I'm trying to figure that support issue out. So the fire department may be top notch, but not if they don't have water and hydrants to fight the fire. So, Kaz, could you explain? We have a very in-depth system for contingency systems. Could you explain if by chance we come into a situation where we're having trouble getting water, what are the steps that we have and that we could take? And this is now, mind you, this is Benton Harbor and Benton Township because we're using the same program.
Yep.
Very important question. I'm glad she asked it. Kaz, go ahead.
So number one, we do share hydrant data with Benton Township. Lieutenant Carlson at Benton Township maintains theirs. Him and I talk very regularly on sharing data back and forth. We just shared some data on the airport this week back and forth, actually. What we do, and this kind of goes back to how you mentioned about our relationship with Benton Township working together as far as auto aid. Every structure fire in the city and in the township gets both Benton Harbor and Benton Township. We have an agreement. Beyond that, in the city, we also get a ladder truck from St. Joe, but we have a box alarm system. And what that means to most people is it's help. You hear fire departments talking about alarms, a second alarm, a third alarm fire, fifth alarm fire, you may hear people say. What that does is every alarm level brings us additional help. Also, we have a contingency should the city ever be without water, like we were a couple years ago when the major main broke on Clock Road. We call it a tanker plan, and there's 4 tankers per tanker plan that we get automatically. And all I have to do is get on the radio and say, dispatch, give me a tanker plan 1. And they have tankers coming to us from Benton Township, Sodus, Waterville, Royalton, and North Berrien Fire Rescue. And then beyond that, then we would, drop down to like Berrien Springs, Chickamine Township, Baroda, some of those areas. So all departments in this, well, I shouldn't say all, most departments in this area rely on their neighbors to help in the time of need. And we have what Chief Harper and I have been able to work between Benton Township and Benton Harbor has worked out great. And we prove it every night or every time we go to a fire. We have no issues between departments. It's seamless.
Fantastic.
Great.
And just briefly, for those that don't know maybe what a tanker is, what's a tanker and how much water does that bring when they come with them?
So a tanker is just a fire truck that carries lots of water. So it's anywhere from 2,000 gallons of water to 4,000 gallons of water, depending on what department you're bringing. Most of them come to us with about 3,000 or so. But, it's bringing a lot of water to us real fast, and we have ways to use the water. Additionally, we can lay 1,000 feet of hose if we need to lay 1,000 feet of hose to another hydrant. So all these plans have been tested, trained on, and it's why we train is to prepare for the worst. So we always have a plan B in mind. When I'm in charge of a fire, I'm always thinking plan B or plan C on what I'm going to do if something doesn't work.
Okay. Well, thank you much, and I believe, matter of fact, Pat Moore said thanks for the information. Thank you for the questions. So, very quickly, tell us about Fire Safety Week, what plans we have for the week, and we'll get you out of here. And me and Chief Abrams will chew a little fat and get out of here too. And note that these things that we do, honestly, we do these all the time, Ben Harbor. It's not just for this week, but just gives you an idea of the things that we do as far as reaching out for public service on the fire side. So go ahead, Cass. Tell us about Fire
Yep, and
Safety Week.
really, what you say about we do it every time. For the past 4 years, the city of Benton Harbor has been #1 in the state of Michigan on handing out smoke alarms, CO alarms, to our residents. #1 in the state for 4 years running.
Of
Uh,
all departments,
yep.
including Detroit's, Grand Rapids, all the departments.
Benton Township is now on board with the same exact program with us. It's through My Prevention. It's ran through the Michigan State Fire Marshal's office. But it ties directly to this year's theme for Fire Prevention Week. Smoke alarms, make them work for you. That's the theme. So we are going to continue with our smoke alarm campaign. Making sure that residents have working smoke alarms in their homes. We don't want to see another resident not be able to escape because of a working smoke alarm or a smoke alarm where the battery was taken out, whatever it may be. So we can provide those to Benton Harbor residents at any time and Benton Township residents as well. And if need be, we will even install them for you. We provide one for every bedroom, one for every level of the house, and then a carbon monoxide detector as well. As now is the time of year, and we already had a heating carbon monoxide issue yesterday, a real life big carbon monoxide leak on Colfax yesterday, where had they not had a detector, somebody could have very easily died. Carbon monoxide's colorless, odorless, and usually by the time you have it, you're not going to wake up from it, especially if you're sleeping. So, but that ties to Fire Prevention Week. We're going to be in the schools pretty much every day. I think Monday is the only day we don't have anything going on in the schools. We're going to be at Tri-County Head Start on Tuesday and Friday. We're going to be at Mildred C. Wells. We're going to be at Discovery and MLK and the charter school as well next week. Reading to kids, talking about fire prevention, making sure they have smoke detectors in their home. Those type of things, getting that message out, the importance of Fire Prevention Week. And I think everybody can remember as a kid when the fire department came and talked to you in school. It was exciting. Maybe not for you, Chief McGinnis. You became a cop. But some of us, remember that. But no, it's an exciting week. The fire trucks will be there, that type of stuff. We're also going to do a community open house. We have not had a community open house in quite some time. So that will be Sunday the 13th. From 11 to 1 at the firehouse next to City Hall, 200 East Wall Street. And you'll be able to come and climb on the fire trucks, talk to firefighters, get fire prevention materials, smoke detectors, CO detectors installed, those type of things. And then we're also doing something for our elected officials. And on Wednesday night, we have our public safety committee, which James Gunter is a member of. We have that meeting that night, but after the meeting will be a public safety or a elected officials open house. So where our elected officials can come and ask questions of the fire department, see our equipment. I think that's the one thing I've probably not done a good job of is really telling our elected officials what we're about. They see the calls we go on, but I don't know if they really know, everything what we're about. So it's going to be a little education for them on Wednesday after our public safety meeting. Additionally, throughout the week, we're going to be pumping out fire prevention messages, videos, those type of things via social media. So you'll see that as well. And we're happy to if your daycare school in the city has an event, let us know. We're happy to come out. We are doing 2 other special events in conjunction with Benton Township. That's this Saturday at Home Depot, and I think that's from 10 to noon. And then next Saturday at Lowe's from 10 to noon, you can build a fire truck. You can bring your children to Home Depot. They can actually build a fire truck, paint it, climb on the fire truck, and get fire prevention materials as well. So we're going to be at both of those places in conjunction with Benton Township on Saturday, the next 2 Saturdays from 10 to noon. So a lot going on next week.
That sounds fantastic. So appreciate that and all that you do, and we do work tirelessly. You got right now 3 of the 5 workaholics that literally stay up nights working for the city, working for the township. So it's been great. So, Gaz, I thank you for coming on. We'll have to have you on more because we are always doing stuff. So one of the things I think Chief Abrams mentioned earlier, we have not done a great job of getting out the good things that are going on. Yeah, we want to be transparent about things that need to be addressed, but also we need to get stories out. So um, we're going to continue to do that. So, Kaz, I appreciate it. You can stay on if you want, or if you got something to do, you can pop off.
Okay.
And I do want to, and Chief Abrams, because we talked. So at first, this show is kind of interesting because we didn't necessarily have much kind of to talk about because it was a quiet week.
It
So
was a quiet week. I was just going to talk to you about that. We have since we started this show, and I'm sure there were things going on, with good people in our community before the show started. But I'm seeing um, from my department more cooperation with citizens where there's issues that need to be resolved. They're calling us. They're talking to us about things that we normally don't have a chance to talk to them about. So I'm seeing an increase in that. So I think we're on the right track, Dan. I think you got something here.
and I agree. So when we say Ben Harbor again, this is a cop show, so we need to talk about some police stuff. A quiet week, I believe, and I mentioned before here, I think on the show that I think I just said it. We don't necessarily do a great job of getting out all the things that we actually are doing. Like for example, like a couple weeks ago, because we were talking, I didn't even get a chance to get into some information as far as updates on shootings that we've had over the last 2 to 3 years. Um, just yesterday, there was a search warrant that was done in a couple of locations in Benton Harbor where in that press release actually will be going out here shortly, but got 2 guns, got some meth, got some illegal weed. Again, that was just yesterday, 100 block of Sealy and also 200 block of Lake Street. Those things going on. Again, that was just yesterday. Even on the 30th, I know one thing people have always said throughout the years, Chief, and it's always been in this Nomer, Ben Harbor doesn't do chases. Yeah, we do. We do pursuits. And just the start of this week, we had actually, I think it was Tuesday, there was a gentleman that was in town that was recognized and identified. He had skip bond. I guess he has been notoriously breaking into homes in North County. We got behind him. He went to take off, and when it ended, we found out that he had on him stolen weapons. He had 3 or 4 warrants, outstanding warrants. The trailer he was towing was stolen, had a stolen ATV on it, and we suspect the other one at that time. We were checking to see if it was stolen also. Again, that came from a tip from a citizen. Um, we had a few weeks ago, there was a shooting event that happened at BJ's Empire and Broadway. Again, because of citizens stepping forward, we've made 3 arrests out of that situation, and the detectives are still working on that. Again, we are seeing, and hopefully this trend continues as people realize, like, hey, I can say something in my community if you say something, if you share something which you know with us. And now it's to the point, like, I go on scenes, Chief, and they'll come right up and talk. It's none of that, I don't want to be seen or don't say nothing. Like, hey, this is my community. This is what I saw. And, even last week, we had a situation on Levette where we made 2 arrests immediately because we had the cooperation of citizens. So that helps. And I've said before, I will continue to say this. We said this, Chief, that, our gang is bigger than theirs. So yeah, there are a small amount of people that are causing issues in the community.
Mm-hmm.
but it's more law-abiding, Benton Harbor-loving citizens that want to see peace and tranquility in their community. Even yesterday, I got a call from somebody that says, hey, there's a guy walking around downtown with a mask and a backpack. He may have a gun. Yeah, we sent officers. So those are the type of things that we need to hear. In relation to the ongoing shooting investigations that we have going on, again, our detective bureau, unfortunately, I can't always put out all that we do and all that we have because investigations are ongoing.
Right.
But they're doing some tremendous work. And of course, your detective, because again, we work together. I see Tyler over here 2 or 3 times a week. I know we're going out to your shootings. You guys are coming out to our major events. But just to kind of give you an idea, again, there's tremendous data that we have here, but all the shooting incidents over like the last 3 years or so are all kind of linked. And to give you an example, we've had 3 guns that have been seized, 7 shell casings that have been, or when I say shell casings came from weapons, and those weapons we found through the lab have been linked to 55 incidents. 55 incidents. So again, there's a small amount of people that are doing a majority of the bad things. We have made 10 arrests, 3 indictments. We got 17 guns that have been recovered that we are linking these shootings together. We also, again, because we're Benton Harbor, we're working with Kalamazoo and Battle Creek because some of our players stretch that far. So
That's
not
right.
only are our detectives, the Benton Harbor and Benton Township detectives, working together with each other, we're working with other agencies in Southwest Michigan to make Benton Harbor safe. So those are some things that we need to make sure that our citizens know about. Yeah, we'll talk about things that we don't do right or we can improve on, but we also need to let you know that we are working diligently to make our community safe. So, Chief, I'll let you have the final word on that, and we'll get up out of here. We don't have to be here an hour. Again, we're a little over than I wanted to be, but it's good information. But yeah, Chief, we're getting it done, and we're going to continue to get it done, and we'll do better.
Well, you said a mouthful. You took all the words out of my mouth, Chief. I was just getting ready. I mean, you had the stat sheet in front of you. I didn't have my stat sheet. I should have had it, but I know a lot of the complaints you spoke about, it was with, conjunction with the city and then actually the state police and all those has been assigned to, to assist, Benton Harbor and Benton Township. This a collective effort. It's paying off. People are talking. We appreciate the new relationships that we have made. I've made actually quite a few. Just citizens who just want to see the right thing happen in their community. That's what we want to see. I'm a resident of of my own community, so I have to do what's right by the people and for the people. And I'm not a politician by no means, but I still got to do. I have to do what's right, and that's my plan. I hope things keep trending the way they are. I know we're going to have problems and hiccups in the future. I just hope that God blesses us to be able to deal with each event, the best way we know possible.
Okay. Well, Benton Harbor, we love you. We appreciate you. Please not only like this, but share it around so we can get kind of the word out. This should be hitting as many people live in Benton Harbor, at least 1,500, 2,000 people a week. So until next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And again, I want to emphasize, we thank you for the help we were receiving. And we hope that you see that once you step up and help us, it makes getting stuff cleaned up so much faster and quicker. So that being said, God bless you all, Benton Harbor, the 49022. We love you. Till next week, we will talk to you later.